Here we are.
Hey everyone, welcome to our spontaneous call with Jen Jefferies, which was not been scheduled for long, but we're super excited to have Jen on the call today. So Jen is a great friend of mine who has been a naturopath and aromatherapist for over 20 years. And I really wanted to get her on here to share her expertise around this because she's actually had a hand in helping me develop a couple of our new blends, which is really exciting. And I just wanted you to hear from her why she loves essential oils and how she sees them implemented as part of a healthy lifestyle, not only for you, but for the family as a whole, because I just think it's such a great complement to a healthy lifestyle. So Jen is also an international speaker, and she has started her passion project, which is the Q Foundation, which she might want to talk a little bit about. But let's get into it. So welcome, Jen.
Hey, Sandy. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate you. So why don't we start with why you love essential oils? Like, obviously you love them because you've made them your life's work. And how do you see them being part of a healthy lifestyle for a family as a whole?
Great question. So bottom line, I'm a naturopath and an aromatherapist, and a naturopath kind of studies all the modalities, and then we specialize in something. So I specialized in aromatherapy, and it's actually 30 years now, which is just crazy. So the reason I love it the most, and I've kind of described it as it's the easiest modality to integrate into everyday life. The really cool thing is that essential oils don't just work on the physical being, they also work on our emotional being. And whether we like it or not, we're an emotional being. So we have to look at that stuff. So just using lavender to help you sleep instead of working out what's sitting behind, the emotions behind your sleep doesn't make a complete treatment. So I love that they're easy to use, they smell great, and they absolutely work on both physical and emotional.
Totally. And I'd love to share a bit of the story around how we created Imi's blends, because this has sort of been in the works for, I think it's like 2 years now since we actually did that original.
Yeah, it's been a while, but it's been so cool for it to evolve. I love it. Just love what you've created. It's so needed in the world.
Oh, thank you. So I want to share with everybody your aromatherapy insight cards because I think they're magical, honestly. And I do love my woo-woo. Yeah, but they are awesome. And we use these to create 2 blends for my daughter Imogen. So for those of you who don't know my daughter Imi, so she was diagnosed with autism at 2.5, and then last year was diagnosed with ADHD and anxiety. So I love using essential oils to help complement the other things we do in her lifestyle. But we wanted to create 2 specific blends for her. One was for bedtime, and one was for grounding during the day. So it's sort of like a nighttime and a daytime blend. So I might just explain how. Do you want to explain how you did use the cards? Because maybe you can explain them a bit better. Because I just think they're magic, and I concentrate, and then I go, "Oh my God, these magical cards come out," and it's always right. But I'm sure it's a lot more. I don't want to say complex, but you'll explain it better than me.
All right. So bottom line, because I'm a bottom line kind of chick, we're intuitive beings. We are instinctive beings, and our body is telling us all the time what we need. The problem is we also are bloody logical, and it takes us off track. We forget to listen to our natural instincts. So I designed the aromatherapy insight cards. I did not paint the paintings, by the way. A wonderful intuitive artist, Karen Osborne, painted those. I didn't paint them. So they're for working on the emotions behind the physical. So we weren't together when we created Imogen's blend. If in my clinic days I was working with patients, I would get them to select them themselves, choose, 3 to 5 to 7 to 11, however many cards, to work out what the emotions were, get some insight in the emotions that were going on behind what was presenting on a day-to-day basis. So what's really cool is that you can also do what I call a surrogate reading, which is what we did in this case. So you were the surrogate for Imogen. So over technology, which is what we've got today, which is so cool, I was able to work with you for you to select, so you to think about Imogen and the situations that we wanted to create blends in, and then literally choose. And then from there, we tweaked and refined it. But that's the bottom line. You can be present or not be present and still be able to tap into that vibe.
Totally. And like, Cooper now, my son Cooper, who's 10, now uses these cards. He's actually already run out of his chill blend that he made the other day, and he uses it every night religiously. And he's like, Mum, I think I need to do another. Yeah, I need to do another reading so I can make a new oil. So he's really into it. And he's got one for school now. He wanted one for school. That was really funny what come out. One of them had benefits for digestion, I think, and he said something about not farting in class. I thought it was...
So interesting. I'll just throw this out here because I can. So, yeah, not farting in class is a physical, however, not digesting new information.
Yeah.
So when, guts are all about change. And when we're, people who vomit and all that kind of stuff, it's like meant to be kind of rejecting change and ideas and new information coming in. And so literally if he's bringing in new information at school but not assimilating it as well as he could, that could present for him as farts or burps. So that actually makes sense to me. That's cool.
I love how your brain works, Jen. You always make it just make sense. I know.
I've lived this for a long time, half my life.
This is why I think they're magical. Anyway, so let's go through Emmy's ones first, because you helped us with those ones. So I really wanted to get your view on how to explain these. I've explained it in a way that makes sense to me, but really want to get your view on it. So let's start with grounding. So grounding has 4 different ingredients in the blend. So there is vetiver, marjoram, bergamot, and mandarin. So grounding is, this is the description I've written. Grounding is calming and refreshing, and it's designed to support you through tough and anxious times. This blend is perfect for those moments when you've lost your spark or enthusiasm. Cheer your heart, boost your confidence, and feel inspired and refreshed. So did you want to add a little bit to that?
Yeah, love to. Do you want to share the picture of that, of the actual, the oil that you've designed, which I love that you've done this. You're making it so easy and accessible for people, which is really cool. So bottom line, vetiver essential oil, first ingredient, main ingredient, that's what it is. It's like for that busy brain, especially now that you've said, Emmy's been diagnosed as ADHD. I'm ADHD. If they'd given us labels years ago, that's the same. I am a go fast creative brain. She's the same. So vetiver allows you to think of one thing at once. So you can have all these things going on in your brain, but if your brain can just focus and work on one thing at once, we get that grounded kind of peace and calm about us. Even when this call, my brain goes, I could teach you this and this and this. And that's just the way my brain works. So I use, personally, vetiver is my constitutional oil. I use it daily to be able to function in a focused way in life. So I loved that came through. That's huge.
Absolutely.
Marjoram we use when people are worrying just for the sake of worrying. Okay, so that's it. It is that anxiety. It's the making mountains out of molehills kind of thing. It's just let it be. It just gives you breathing space to use it. It's to move anxiety in that way. The citrus oils are about that. The citrus oils are the kiddie oils. They're the light, light and load. When our brain is so worrying and busy and all that kind of stuff, we forget to have all the joy and fun stuff in life. So those 2 oils coming into the blend, I think, just complement it beautifully, because they really are about just lightening the mood. So if she is in her busy, focused, thing, it's excellent for keeping her grounded, but keeping her up emotionally at the same time.
And it even smells fun. I love this one. And when you're talking about it, I'm like, I can use all of those things that you just talked about.
I know, it's not just for her, it's for big people too. Perfect. I love it.
Totally. All right, so grounding was our first one. Let's go into bedtime, and I'll share the screen with our bedtime blend. Okay. And this one, you know what I actually love about this one? I shared it with a friend yesterday, and she smelt it and she goes, oh, there's no lavender.
No.
Because lavender didn't come out in this one. And I love that there's no lavender, because it's completely different to what other bedtime sort of blends would have. So our bedtime has geranium, neroli, patchouli, ylang ylang, and cinnamon. And so bedtime's about promoting balance and a peaceful night's rest. And it's a warm and fuzzy oil. So when the cinnamon first came out, I remember saying to Jen, "Oh, I'm not sure about that. I'm not a cinnamon person." But she's like, "No, it's perfect." So, and this is really about rejuvenating while resting. So it's resting but rejuvenating.
Yeah, it is. And lavender, people do lavender to death, and it is an amazing essential oil. However, there are so many other essential oils that are just as good or better, and in this case it was perfect. So neroli, which brings that peace and calm to your life. Ylang ylang helps to move people get frustrated in life when their expectations aren't met. So even just being able to remove frustrations and that kind of energy around her vibe at bedtime is huge. And also frustration for you expecting her to sleep or not sleep, because kids pick up on our energy. So that was huge to have the ylang ylang in there. Cinnamon warms your spirit. It's that, it's okay, warm, not warm, fuzzy floral, but warm, just, it's okay kind of
like
vibe on your spirit.
Like a hug?
Totally. Yeah. Cinnamon is such an undervalued essential oil. But surely when your brain's doing lots of stuff, it unites and brings everything together, which is cool. And geranium, just for that, the perfectionist workaholic, again, it's that busy brain stuff. So if we can help get her to, like you say, to settle, but also rejuvenate those vibes through the night, it's totally different to just saying, use lavender, to calm the nervous system and go to sleep. It's beyond that. It really is beyond that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it smells beautiful. Everyone who smells this one is just like, "Oh, that's so nice." And they're really surprised. They don't think that that's what it's going to smell like.
Yeah, great combo of oils.
So let's move on to the two that I did solo after you teaching me.
Sure.
I actually really love your feedback on these. What I did with these was I used your cards, and I thought about what I wanted the oil or the blend to achieve for our Thrive Tribe & Co mamas. So this one was all about uplifting. So this one has neroli, vetiver, clary sage, and sweet orange. I was actually really surprised when clary sage came out, because all I knew of clary sage was they told me to use it when I was pregnant. And that's all it reminded me of. And I was like, when I read about it, I was really surprised. So uplifting is a perfect combination of calming and fun. It helps you feel more grounded whilst recharging your physical and emotional energies. Stay clear, trust your intuition, and bring some extra joy to your day.
Yeah, so this one's got, and it's interesting, so many women use clary sage exactly to help the birthing process, which is cool. But that creative kind of mind, that uplifted mind, that's very much clary sage too. So clary sage is about a kind of emotionally being up but also kind of knowing where you want to go, being clear amongst that. So a lot of people get into overwhelm, which stops them from enjoying life and brings them down because they're just not clear about what they want. So it's a real moving forward kind of oil. Neroli, again, about choices, but also the choices that you make leading to a place of peace. Vetiver, keep the brain focused on one thing at once. Perfect. And then sweet orange is the best oil. Sweet orange is about getting rid of the seriousness in adults. So where, your mandarin is about just like childhood fun, bergamot, which is, fun in general, citrus oils. Sweet orange gets rid of the seriousness that bogs us down.
And
so this is a seriously fun, gorgeous up oil, but grounded at the same time, not up crash. It's got the bit of it to ground it. It's perfect. Nice balance.
I love how you just explained the sweet orange, because I think as mums of children with additional needs, it's so easy to get caught up in the seriousness of life. And this is exactly what I wanted this blend, was just to be a bit of a breath of fresh air, almost like, it doesn't have to be so serious all the time.
So before you go on, I'm going to show the sweet orange card, because this is one of the funny stories. So Karen Osborne, the intuitive artist I worked with to create these 20 years ago, the brief I gave her was to paint the personality, the emotions of the oils. That's the only brief. And I expected her to paint the plant. 12 months later, she came back to me. She'd painted 43 paintings, including the rose on the back cover. And she was showing them to me. And we came to sweet orange and she painted this.
I'm just going to stop sharing. Hold on. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so everyone can see yours.
Okay. So sweet orange. And I looked at them and went, you painted Mrs. Brady. What? First off, she painted all women.
Yeah.
And I went, why have you done that? And she said, well, she really got the solid message that she was meant to honor the women healers who came before us. I went, totally cool, big tick.
Yeah.
But I went, you've painted Mrs. Brady. What's the go? And she said, and then I sat with that, and I went, she nailed it. Like, think of it. You know, I'm a child of the 60s and 70s. And so Mrs. Brady, the Brady Bunch, you know, it was the 70s and the world was a little bit of a different place. And so
Yes.
like Alice was always in the kitchen cooking her meatloaf. The boys were doing their version of which was trouble, which was not trouble. Jan and Marsha were flicking their hair. And no matter what happened, Mrs. Brady just kind of went, okay,
yep.
It's okay. That's sweet orange. It really is. It's just like anything can go on, but you can just kind of lighten up and deal with it. I love that card. Like, that painting is perfect. That oil is perfect in that blend. Really well done.
Yay. Thank you. I learned from the best.
Thank you for being such a wonderful student.
All right. Now, last one, peaceful. Oh, this is, I think this is my favorite, like, aroma. It's just, it's so beautiful. I put it on this morning and I was driving the car. I was like, I just really enjoy like the scent of it. So our peaceful blend was originally named Calm the Chaos.
I do like that name too.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't fit on the label. So now it's peaceful.
Okay.
But I wanted to get it in there because I think it really like captures what this oil is all about. So peaceful is a blend to turn to when things feel out of control or overwhelming. This nurturing blend protects you from worry and overwhelm and promotes feelings of strength and confidence. So it has vetiver, frankincense, lavender, and a content blend. So I was like, oh, there's 2 super oils in there, because I know that frankincense and vetiver are like quite, like, I feel like they're quite strong oils. But it just, I don't know, I feel like it just works really well together.
Well, they work. They work well together because they're both from a similar part of the plant. Vetiver is steam distilled from the roots of the plant. It's actually a big tall grass, but it's taken from those earthy roots. Frankincense is taken from the resin of the frankincense tree. So you've got 2 earthy kind of oils, which is super cool. So frankincense it's like that Xena warrior woman. It's like just protects your vibes no matter what. That's cool. But keeping it grounded at the same time so your brain doesn't go off and do things. Lavender nurtures your space. So not just you, but your space, your environment. So if we can, in naturopathy, we talk about your context. Your context is how everything externally influences our internal environment and vice versa. So this is a beautiful blend. We cannot control stresses and external influences in our life, but we can sure control how we respond to them. And this is a beautiful blend for helping you to protect you in you amongst the chaos. Like, you nailed it. Really well done.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's stop sharing there. And I want to actually talk a little bit about these and how people, can you just give, because I'd really love to give people access to these, and we're going to stock them through our website. So do you want to give people the brief version of how they can use these?
Yeah.
If they get them in their home, because if they don't know how to do it, they're like, okay, I get this box of cards. What do I do next?
Simple. And they're designed for the emotional side of essential oils. So aromatherapy essential oils have physical uses or physical benefits as well as emotional. So yes, lavender is great to help you relax and go to sleep. However, it's also awesome for helping, like I said, to nurture your environment. So what you can do is, it can be as simple as a 1-card reading. So you can just simply choose what essential oil will benefit me most today. That's it. Yep. And that will tell you which oil to put in your vaporizer. You could do a 3-card reading, which is a 3-card is generally a past, present, future. It's kind of like how I've been in the past in regards to that situation. So if I did what oils are going to benefit me sleep the most? And say I drew, I'll just play in right now, but say I drew something like marjoram, which is about worrying. Well, it'd have been like I was worrying about life and all that kind of stuff. So I need to settle that. Locked together, maybe if the next card was vetiver. So vetiver would mean that I had the busy brain, not grounded. So brain's doing work and everything all through the day. And then sweet, and so I got sweet orange in the future. So it's like sweet orange is about, remember, lightening up, getting rid of the seriousness. So if I did that in a past, present, future reading really super quick, it would be like, look, I've just had too many worries going on in life. My brain's really busy and I've forgotten to have fun. So using that blend to help me create a sleep blend would bring more benefit to me than just using like lavender to physically help me sleep.
Yeah,
That's it.
totally.
And you can go right through to an 11 card reading, because sometimes we want a bit more insight into what's going on in life. So that's where the 11 card reading comes in. And it's just about finding out which essential oils on an emotional level will support you in regards to a question or something that's going on in life.
Well, we actually did this with not only with Cooper, but with his little mate. And when they come over the other day, and they were like so excited by it. And we just did it really simply. We just said, okay, we're going to shuffle the cards. Tell us when to stop. Do you want to pick some cards from the top, or you want us to fan them out? How many cards do you want?
Nice.
And then they did that. And the stuff that come out, honestly, was just so cool, like so amazing. And, it was my best friend's kids who come over, and they've been religiously using their rollers since they've like had them for a week. And she said they love it. Like they felt like it made a difference in their life.
Well, that's the biggest thing, you know, tapping into your intuition. So seeing how, you know, exactly. So it's like, you know, 1 card, 2 cards, 3 cards, 4 cards, whatever it is. Trust yourself what you need to draw. So in the book, the guidebook that comes with it, I explain 1 card, 3 card, 11 card readings. And like I'm off to China in a couple of days teaching this over there again. And we teach all that stuff. However, the underpinning message with it all is to learn to trust your natural instincts, because you will be guided. Stop questioning with this bloody logical brain.
I know, that brain gets in the way sometimes, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Awesome. Well, that was fantastic. Thank you so much for lending us your expertise for today. And I'm sure we'll hear from you again in our Thrive Tribe & Co space, because I don't think this will be the end of our blends, and I'd love to get you back on to unpack.
I'd love to play again.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us. We super appreciate you.
My pleasure. See you.